This tree grows 15 feet per year, burns hotter than coal. Why is it illegal to plant? In a world racing toward cleaner energy and sustainable resources, one tree seems like the perfect solution. Fast-growing, incredibly dense, and capable of producing fuel that burns hotter than coal. Yet, in a twist that raises eyebrows and sparks curiosity, planting it is restricted or outright illegal in some regions. Why would such a powerful natural resource be controlled? Let's dig into the fascinating story behind this controversial tree. Imagine planting a tree today and watching it shoot up 10 to 15 feet within a single year. That's not science fiction, it's reality for species like Paulownia, often nicknamed the empress tree or princess tree. Native to parts of Asia, this tree has gained global attention due to its astonishing growth rate. Under ideal conditions, it can reach harvestable size in just 5 to 7 years, something that would take decades for traditional hardwood trees like oak or mahogany. Its rapid growth makes it incredibly attractive for timber, carbon capture, and biomass fuel production. And that's where things get interesting. When properly dried and processed, the wood from fast-growing trees like Paulownia can be turned into high-efficiency biomass fuel. While it doesn't literally surpass coal in all metrics, it comes impressively close in energy output when converted into pellets or charcoal. In fact, it burns cleaner than coal, produces less sulfur and toxic emissions, leaves behind minimal ash, and can be replenished quickly. This makes it a promising candidate for renewable energy systems, especially in regions struggling with deforestation or reliance on fossil fuels. So if it grows fast and burns clean, what's the problem? The main reason this tree is restricted or banned in some countries is not because it's dangerous to humans, but because it can be dangerous to ecosystems. Paulownia trees are incredibly resilient. They spread rapidly through wind-dispersed seeds. They grow in poor soils, where other plants struggle. And they outcompete native species for sunlight and nutrients. In places like parts of the United States, this tree has been labeled invasive, meaning it disrupts local ecosystems and threatens biodiversity. Once established, it's difficult to control. Governments often step in to regulate or ban invasive species because the long-term environmental damage can outweigh short-term benefits. In regions like Africa, where energy shortages and deforestation are real challenges, a tree like this sounds like a miracle. Fast-growing fuel wood could reduce pressure on natural forests and provide sustainable energy for rural communities. And in some places, it's already being explored. However, the risk remains. Introducing a non-native species without proper management could harm local ecosystems. Africa is home to diverse and delicate biodiversity systems. One aggressive species could disrupt entire habitats. That's why agricultural experts and environmental scientists emphasize controlled cultivation rather than widespread unregulated planting. The debate around this tree, honestly, boils down to a classic dilemma: economic opportunity versus ecological responsibility. The benefits include rapid biomass production, a sustainable fuel alternative, and, well, a potential income source for farmers. Not to mention carbon sequestration, basically absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But the risks: invasive spread, loss of native plant species, soil and water imbalance, and long-term ecological damage. Some countries allow planting, but only under strict guidelines. That means things like controlled plantations, monitoring seed spread, and using sterile or hybrid varieties. On the other hand, others choose to ban it entirely just to avoid the risk. You know, the phrase illegal to plant is often exaggerated for attention, but there's actually some truth behind it. In reality, some regions restrict planting, others require permits or approvals, and, well, a few places have outright bans. These laws aren't about suppressing innovation, they're really about protecting ecosystems from unintended consequences. This tree, honestly, teaches us something important. Not every perfect solution is truly perfect. Nature is complex. Introducing a fast-growing, high-energy tree might seem like a silver bullet for energy and climate issues, but without careful planning, it can create new problems. Sustainable solutions have to balance environmental protection, economic benefits, and long-term ecological stability. And sometimes, that means saying not so fast to something that looks incredibly promising.